Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel, Just Be Me. And today's video is going to be a story time on the time I broke my ankle. Stay tuned. It was a bright and beautiful day of the 7th grade of my middle school career, and I was just playing happily along with my friends. We just came back from recess, and then when we got into the classroom, after we lined up and walked in quietly, I felt a sudden push. The push came from none other than my best friend at the time, whose name I will not mention. And when I was pushed, I did not just fall on the ground, I fell onto another student. Now, if you were not in the situation, if you were just looking at us, you would have thought it was a fight. But it was not a fight. The other girl probably thought it was a fight. So, in return, she pushed me down harder onto the floor. And I did not just land face down or backwards. I fell sitting down. Yes, I fell sitting down, and I fell sitting down with my right leg bent under like this, like I was doing crisscross applesauce with one leg. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything was wrong at the time, so I tried to get up like normal, and I was in so much pain. I could not stand up. I literally dropped back down to the floor, and the lunch lady was around at the time, so she came and assisted me, and she took me into the principal's office area and explained what happened, and they gave me an ACE compression bandage wrap to wrap up my ankle because they thought it was like sprained or something. Meanwhile, I was sitting in the office waiting for my parents to come, waiting for school to be over, and the time just felt like it was going so slow. But eventually, they did come, and they got me, and we went to urgent care. So we finally made it to urgent care, and I was sitting and waiting, and then finally, not long after, I was called in to be seen. They automatically, as I said before, thought it was a sprained ankle. So what they did is they took off the ACE compression bandage, and then they wrapped it with some white thing and gave me crutches and told me to go see a specialist at the hospital. So I went home, and there it began, and I could do nothing. I literally had to lay in bed all weekend till I was able to see the specialist the following Monday. I was unaware of how I was supposed to take a shower, how I was supposed to brush my teeth, or do my hair while looking in the mirror, or even how to get around on the crutches, because I really did not know how to use crutches. This was my first experience of ever breaking or spraining anything in my life. When Monday arrived, I was so excited. I was finally gonna go to the doctor and see what happened to me, what happened to my foot, why I can't walk, why I have to use crutches. So we went to the hospital. Got to the hospital, and I was hip hop, clip clopping my way through the doors, into the elevator, to the doctor's office that I was supposed to go to. When I got inside, they made me wait a little bit again, and then I went to go get an x-ray done. And immediately after the x-ray, the technician told me that it looked like something was broken. So the doctor came in to, confirm that something was actually broken, and it turned out that my ankle was fractured in 3 places, not 1, not 2, but 3 places in my ankle. I was like, damn, all that happened. I knew something was wrong with me. So the next step was to get the cast. They brought me into another room, and I waited for some lady to come in, and she put some white thing, kind of like a sock, over my leg all the way up to my knee area. And then she put kind of like a paper mache thing around it. And then she asked me what color I wanted. And the color selection that they had was really ugly. So I just chose purple, even though I don't really like the color purple either. So she put it around, and put a sealant on it and let it dry. Then it dried and she gave me a new pair of crutches and I was on my happy merry little way. I had to keep this cast on for 3 months. 3 whole months. And it's not like my toes were even covered. Like my toes were exposed and like all the way up to my knee was covered. On my right leg, I believe it was. Yes, on my right ankle all the way up to my knee. It was a long 3 months of being carried around on my dad's back sometimes where my crutches couldn't go, of having to lay down and not being able to go to certain activities or do certain things because of my ankle, of being pampered, and of people carrying my books around and my book bag when I was going to school, um, and of also me having to lay in the tub with my foot up and a bag over my foot for me to take a shower and get clean. Like other people had to bathe me. Ooh, mind you, that day that I went back to school, I think it was like 2 days after some, that day that I went back to school, I found out that I actually got suspended for being injured. Does that make sense? Why would I get suspended for being injured? I understand the other girls, they got suspended. But why did I get suspended for being injured? I didn't even do anything. Anyway, I got over that and I tried to be positive and to make best of the situation. But let me tell you, it was not easy because I was made fun of and bullied for the fact that I had a freaking cast on my foot. And it was just tough because I felt so excluded from everything everybody else was doing. And I just wanted to have fun like a normal 7th grader, a normal 12-year-old girl. But I had to wait. Fast forwarding to when the 3 months was over, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to go back to the doctor for them to take this crap off my foot so I could be a normal human being again. So on that day that I had to go take off my cast, my dad drove me and we drove real fast because I was like, step on it. I need to get this off so I can go back to school. I went back into that same room with that same lady who put my cast on and she took it right off. And my cast was kind of still in the form of a cast. So she asked me if I wanted to bring it home. And I was like, yes. I know that may be kind of nasty to you guys, but it was a traumatic moment in my life. And I wanted it as a keepsake of the time that I had to go through that situation. So I kept it. I brought it home. I put it under my bed. I went back to school the following day, and in the truck on the way to school, I looked at my leg and then I looked at my other leg, and I noticed that the leg that was in the cast was smaller than my other leg, and I just found that really weird. But I understood why, because it was enclosed in a cast for like 3 months, so it was like that for a little while, or it would be like that for a little while. I went to school, put on some jeans and a shirt, and enjoyed my day. Thank God that all I needed to do that day was take off my cast and I was set free. Because usually, when you take off a cast, you have to put on another little thing, kind of like a transition into getting back to your normal self. But my ankle healed so well that I did not need that third step. I did not need that third thing. All I needed was this little thing, kind of like an ankle guard to have on my leg, and also use that one crutch for that one side because I didn't need two anymore. I only needed one, and then I was good. It was great because the situation could have been worse, and I was just thankful that my foot had healed all the way and that I didn't need that third transitioning step, and that everything could be back to how it was before. Although I did have some back pains following the removal of everything. I had some lower back pains, and I believe it was from the crutches and the way I was set up because it was very uncomfortable and it wasn't such a good position to be in for a long time, and it really weakened the muscles in my back. I even had to take therapy like 1 year later. I had to take therapy, and I stopped going to therapy because I just felt like it was just a waste of money and I really didn't need it. But it was a really interesting experience. not one that I would like to do again anytime soon or anytime ever, but it's over. And as I said before, thank God. That was my story time video on the time that I broke my ankle. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, just be you, because that's the only thing you can do, boo.